We often hear and talk about the number of 20 million vehicles a year, the number we heard on Battery Day. Elon saying long term they want to try and replace 1% of the 2 billion global fleet every year. Tesla want to try and make 20 million vehicles a year, twice what the largest manufacturer currently sells. Now, I would have thought that Toyota or Volkswagen would also like to sell 20 million vehicles a year, but they don't have the demand for it perhaps. But they've been around so much longer than Tesla. With so many more established brands, what makes Tesla think they have the demand for this many vehicles? Is this a field of dreams moment where if they build it, they will come? Firstly, I would like to point out, although Battery Day was only a little over a year ago, so much of Tesla has changed already. For starters, Tesla is nearly of 3 times the valuation than back then. But that's not really so relevant to my point. What is the way Tesla underestimated their actual demand. Tesla have risen the prices of the Model Y by 20% this year alone, and yet their waiting lists are higher than ever. And on top of that, we have customers hesitant to purchase until they hear about the EV rebate. And on top of that, this is a growing waiting list during a growing production period. Oh, and that's just for the 2170 Model Ys, not the vastly superior 4680 Model Ys that most of the consumer market aren't even aware of yet. In a recent video, we explored how the Model Y is possibly going to hit a production rate of as high as 3 to 4 million units a year. Now granted, this would likely result in a price drop and lower cost models added to the mix, but such a popular product, it does make sense to have more variants available, to match more of the supply and demand curve. Let consumers pay what they can afford. In this scenario, we're talking a few years down the road, and Tesla has ramped up their 4680 batteries along with their own in-house LFP batteries, and most likely something like 10 times more superchargers available. Yes, 10 times. Think about it, we were told 3 times more just in the next 2 years. So perhaps by 2025, we could literally see 10 times more than today, not to mention $7.5 billion earmarked for superchargers in the infrastructure bill. I believe this will result in Tesla offering a standard range model with around 250 miles of range and a medium range model of around 290 miles, give or take. These 2 variants will be based on Tesla's LFP batteries. It will have to be Tesla's LFP batteries, as the energy density from BYD or CATL's batteries would not be sufficient. Then a long range version with perhaps mid 300 miles of range, and a performance version too. These 2 will still be using 4680 batteries. To give you an idea of price, then perhaps the long range is now $55,000. This is almost $5,000 cheaper than currently, and offers about 30 miles more range and likely better performance with the 4680 batteries. So Tesla will be offering more for less. I'm assuming here that Tesla will eventually reduce their prices. This may not even be the case. And I would think that eventually the entry-level standard range Model Y might be around $45,000. And with these cars alone, we're at a demand of around 3 to 4 million units a year. Bear in mind, Shanghai is meant to reach 1 million a year, so if that's 500,000 Model Ys from there, Fremont is meant to increase 50%, so maybe another 350,000 Model Ys from there, and we're meant to see a run rate of 1 million from Texas and Berlin combined by the end of next year, just with 4680 batteries. These alone are not too far off 2 million units a year, and that's without selling the standard range in the largest markets, and without reducing the prices. Okay, fair enough, the Model Y is a popular market segment of the crossover SUV, but these prices are all above the mean average people spend on a new car, and I suspect much higher than the median. They still simply aren't affordable for the masses. Elon has said Tesla will bring out a lot more models still, but there is little point in doing that until they have the battery supply. In the meantime, they can keep selling their cars with the highest margin, and the Model Y has outstanding margin. It is of a similar cost to build than a Model 3, yet sells for about $8,000 more. Anyway, let's move along. We need to work out if Tesla has demand for 20 million cars a year. Now, we hear about the $25,000 compact, which is less than half the price of the Model Y. This caters to a much wider market. Even if crossovers are the most popular in the US, well, $25,000 Teslas are going to be more popular. Not only that, in China and Europe, compact cars are the best selling. Now, if the compact Tesla is going to be a bigger seller than the Model Y, which I think we can assume, then there might also be a standard, medium, and long-range version of those too, and most likely accompanied with a performance version as well. This really is hitting a much lower price point, but it's actually not quite what you think. Just because the compact model is half the price of the Model Y, that doesn't make it half the cost of ownership equivalent to an ICE car. EVs have an intrinsic value of low-cost transport, i.e. no fuel service. The cost of savings become a higher proportion of the value of the electric vehicle as the price of the electric vehicle reduces. The market will need some education on this, but I think the Tesla owners will work this out and tell everyone they know anyway. And within time, this knowledge should proliferate through the market and consumer behavior will adapt. It's not necessarily the compact Tesla that people want so much as it is the $25,000 price tag. That's the real appeal. A Tesla that is actually affordable to the masses. They're whetting their appetite for it. Consumers that would never have dreamed of owning a brand new car in the past. Of course, that's a $25,000 Tesla, which will cost about $2,000 a year less to run than an ICE car would. So why would Tesla stop there with just one version of the compact? If Tesla were to hit the under $30,000 market, they could offer a 2-door compact, a 4-door compact, a crossover version, a sports version. There may be a variety of different styles of models that start under $30,000 price point. Can you imagine the demand? This would really hurt Toyota and some of the other Japanese markets. It would also stop the budget Chinese vehicles in their tracks. There really aren't any budget Chinese cars suitable for the overseas market anyway. The only possibility is the BYD Dolphin, which would be at the same price point as a compact Tesla and offer significantly less in the way of everything. But maybe BYD could hit volume production with that eventually. Sure, maybe. And maybe they can make 1 million Dolphins a year. That's a big maybe. There's one thing hitting volume production, another thing hitting 5 times volume production. But if it's a race as to who can make the most, then it will be a race to who can ramp up their battery production fastest. Have you seen the pace at which BYD make their Blade batteries when compared to Tesla's 4680 batteries? And that was Tesla's 4680 batteries in Kato Road, with a video we saw that is now over a year old. Tesla have likely increased their rate of production even more by now, and will be even faster when using LFP batteries. BYD may have had a head start with their battery production, but when Tesla likely makes 100 times as many batteries per squared foot, clearly that lead will not last long. They cannot out-Tesla Tesla. Okay, I digress. So if the one style of Model Y could be up to 4 million sales a year, what would 3 or 4 styles of compact Teslas be under $30,000? I mean, it has to be at least 10 million, but could be significantly higher. Also, bear in mind, Tesla are creating more and more economies of scale the more vehicles they make. They're also continually adding to their vertical integration, doing more in-house and more locally sourced, meaning that there's going to be so much more profit margin that Tesla can reduce their prices to generate more demand. And they have the machine that builds the machine, making it easier to replicate new manufacturing lines every time. Then what about a larger version of the Model Y? A smaller version of the Cybertruck? Right, the Cybertruck. Never did I dream of wanting a pickup truck, yet I have a Cybertruck on order. Just like I never thought I would justify buying a brand new car, yet I bought a brand new Tesla. And it wasn't even the cheapest one available. Tesla is creating a shift in demand, making people willing to pay more for a car than they would have otherwise previously, just like what the iPhone did for mobile phones. Can you imagine how cool a Tesla minivan might be? That's one of the main disadvantages of having too many children, is you have to end up buying a minivan. Maybe if Tesla come up with a cool enough minivan, then it might even incentivize people to have more children, which is something Elon is also very much in favor of. And we still have all the commercial vehicles to come out, like the semi-truck and the van. When it comes to business, these cars simply reduce costs and serve as positive returns on investment, especially when they're capable of driving themselves. Not only that, a lot of people who become more wealthy or affluent, they don't stop at one car. Some people have 5-car garages, for example, or even more. Perhaps some enthusiasts will end up just having every single type of Tesla that is available. Rather than a Ferrari, Aston, Lamborghini, and Bentley, it might be a Cybertruck, Roadster, Plaid X and S, and Model 3 Performance. What are we saying? You add all this up and think about how many variations of models that a car company like BMW or Audi offer. Something like over 30 different models, including different variations of each model, as in a 4 Series convertible, sedan and coupe would count as 3 different variations, yet just one series. If Tesla is the largest selling auto manufacturer, then could they offer even more than 30 different options? I don't know. I'd personally have thought they'd keep it lower, perhaps for economies of scale, but I'm not too sure yet. I would say we're likely to see at least about 15 different types of Teslas within time. With this being said, then I think Tesla could be closer to 40 million vehicle sales a year. Or at least Tesla could generate enough demand for 40 million. And factor in that Teslas will be the only vehicles that will have level 5 autonomy. This is going to be a huge factor when buying a car. The question is, will Tesla want to make that many cars in the first place? Judging by what Texas might be capable of, and how much Elon thinks Tesla can still improve in manufacturing, then this might be achieved with less than 10 terafactories. And I know, I kind of joke about these vehicles delivering themselves, but it's a reality really, if you think about the logistics of a factory making over 10,000 vehicles a day. That's a huge factor, not to mention a huge cost saving. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.